What's free? Free is when nobody else can tell us what to be. Free is when the TV ain't controlling what we see. Told my niggas I need
Hello. Welcome to ReLAYshons. Hello, humans of the world. I'm so happy to be back for another amazing episode. I want to say that this one is very impromptu, but I like it that way, right? When you don't plan it, but you plan it. You know what I mean? The universe plans it for you. So I'm here with another special guest, my VIP guest. His name is Pryse. Say hello to the people.
What's up, people? What's good?
The premise of this episode is going to be, are we supposed to break the cycle completely, lose all what we were taught, or create a new way completely? So let's start off with how me and my co-host have met. I've known this human being for a very long time. I think even lifetimes. But in this life, we met in high school. We were like, I don't know, high school sweethearts. We were in a relationship throughout my adolescence years, even to college, maybe the first year of college. And we just remain friends, and we're always in this life journey. Some people come for a little bit, other people just stay around for a long time, so we just had to accept the way things go. So I thought, you know what, let's heal something. Why not, right? So let's break cycles, or should we stick with this tradition? So tell me, what do you think about this idea of breaking cycles? When you think of what is it that comes to your mind when you think about breaking cycles? Like, what is something you want to break?
Wow, there's a lot of I say unspoken traditions that's accepted in today's society on all levels of life. So, relationships, friendships, um, even business, or there's always certain type of traditions or certain type of um, ideologies that might even be unspoken that people like to follow. So, lately, my main concern or question is definitely the Bible would be the biggest question here, because I feel like it was man-made, and it's also was used as a weapon to kind of manipulate our culture as black people to follow a certain way, which was called slavery. So it's like we was taught this way of living, but is it really something? And it's still taught to us, even through our family, our parents, and religion. People still follow certain religions that they try to kind of teach to their children. So my question is, we know this was a weapon used against us, and these traditions was brought to us by people who was misleading us. So why are we still holding on to these traditions when it comes to the way we live our life?
Right. I mean, technically, right, the Bible was given or created to give us the direction of how to live your life.
Right.
So, and I'm not against the Bible. There are things in the Bible that I think are relevant to what God intended for humanity to be. I just don't think it's as literal or it shouldn't be taken as literal as it's written. I think it is a perspective. In someone's perspective, and perspectives are very interchangeable and very questionable to begin with, right? Because two people could look at the same thing and think two completely different things. And so, while they were looking at Adam and Eve, maybe it wasn't Adam and Eve. Maybe there were a lot of other people. Maybe there were other species. Maybe, who knows? Like, they're only telling one side of the story. It's not the full story. So I agree with you on that. And religion, especially. Religion is one of those things that are made to control and divide us in a lot of ways as well.
Right. I'm a very like instinctive person, or like I always question anything that was taught to me. Like I always ask questions. That was a like big thing for me. Like growing up, like that I always ask questions, and it made people kind of intimidated because it's like they might not have the answer to these questions.
Right.
So
or they're not even ready to hear the question. Like they're not even here. They're not even ready to hear someone question something like that, right?
Right, because those things give people security. Ooh. It gives them the security that, okay, if I live this way, then maybe things are gonna turn out a certain way if I live this way.
But so it's like a safety zone, you think? Like people are just doing it to like it's just survival mechanism.
Exactly, but now I don't want to take away from doing like living right and living wrong. Like I believe. And that's a tricky statement, right and wrong. Mm-hmm. Like
what is right or wrong?
Yeah,
does that even exist?
Exactly, but when you have a heart or you're just a decent person, mm-hmm. you kind of have like a moral guide on like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I shouldn't do that. And that's why I say I'm an instinctive person, mm-hmm. because your instinct could tell you like, okay, what I'm doing right now is not really right or it's not nice. Mm-hmm. Like I'm doing something wrong here.
But when you hear that, right, when you feel that instinct telling you that, do you even follow it every time?
No.
Right.
Hell no.
Right. And I think that's the case for everybody, right? Like, right. I think everybody feels it. You just make a decision.
Right. At the moment, sometimes it's impulsive, and you just make a decision with what you want the most. And so I say that to say that I'm not a literal person, so I can't sit here and quote a lot of things. I wouldn't be able to tell you, what a certain passage in the Bible said. Like that's just not me. Like I've read the Bible, I took it for what it was, and I took it as a like metaphoric language for people to follow a guideline on how to live. But I didn't take it as, okay, this is exactly what happened. Some of that stuff, it just sounds like you're right. Like that didn't happen. But like I say, it's just a metaphoric language. And then I also took it as, you got to think about it as a person writing something that can benefit them. Like if a man wrote this,
right, he's gonna write it to his advantage.
He's gonna take this, and that's why I believe in a lot of. Excuse me. That's why I believe, like a lot of religion is male dominant, and is male. It benefits a man more than the woman. If you look at a lot of religion, the man is leading the woman, and the woman basically has to do.
Sitting here just ready to be saved, bruh.
Exactly, do whatever, So I always question that too. Like, wait, hold on. So why are we putting men so high? Women are not as high as men in all of these religions, but the religion is about quote unquote right and wrong. So how can you feel right being able to do certain things a woman can't do? Like it just doesn't add up. Like certain Muslim religions or whatever, they're able to have
covered, and they have to.
Not only do they have to be covered, they get to have multiple wives.
Oh yeah, right.
They get to do basically whatever they want.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you. So they get to do pretty much whatever they want, and the woman has to listen. So how does that fit?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
But is it about being fair? What is being fair?
What is that justification behind that? Is it just a man was like, oh, I got the power in his pen right now, so I'm going to write the story like this, and in this story, I get to have 5 wives in this story, and I'm going to put it out there like that, and if they don't follow these rules, then you know what's going to happen to them.
Right.
and then
why you made the Bible sound like Boys in the Hood or something?
But I'm saying, so and then Christianity, it's not like that. It's like you can't have more than one.
It's like the complete opposite.
Now, I don't know how much I want to share my perspective on that
and why it's like that. We don't have to focus on the Bible because it's not a Bible hating moment.
All right,
this is just about breaking tradition.
But that's where a lot of tradition come from. Marriage.
That's like the source of our tradition is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest traditions. That's like one of the highest goals and from people's lives. People are out here well, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, then I want to get married.
Right. It's like
Or
a goal.
I want to get
because
married, then I want to do this, I want to do that. But marriage is almost at the top of the charts
Right. It's like the
for
one thing
goals.
to achieve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like,
Why?
and then you center your life around that, and then it's like,
What
if you don't
happened?
get married, now you're like,
Did you like disobey God?
did I disobey God?
And the Bible?
Did I disobey God? What did I do wrong?
Oh, it's almost like because you didn't do that part of the journey of life, right? Because the journey of life is the Bible's way. Then, oh my gosh.
And then look about like having children. Like there's a lot of people out here having children and they're not married. So according to the Bible, they're already going to have. That's it.
Yeah.
They're done. They're fried.
Done. But so the idea that tradition is ingrained in our religion. What other things that you would see like our traditions being brought from?
Well, there's other traditions that I feel it goes
hand in hand with the Bible.
Nah, it doesn't go with the Bible. Like I said, I question a lot of tradition, a lot of are we doing things the right way? And
right, if you have to ask yourself the question if you're doing it right, then it's almost like you're questioning your own instinctive feeling to do something differently. And if you do it differently, then you're doing it wrong.
Like with society and the laws that have been created for us.
Laws.
My personal belief is that laws were created for people of color. I don't think it was created for the person in power. You don't make laws for yourself. You think the king was running around following
trying to
his
make a
own
law?
rules? Like
that is true.
You make laws for people you want to control. So now we're under control by these laws that were only made to control us, and we have no way of.
But they're doing it too. Like people, like white people, also get married and follow a lot of these traditions, right?
Yeah, but like beyond marriage, like just a law in general, like.
Or you're talking about just like a regular.
Yeah, beyond marriage, like.
So it's the system that was created on this earth for humans to do things in a specific way will be constituted as a tradition. So they're not just a way of life. It's traditions that we're following, and you're thinking that, well, you're having a battle on whether you should be breaking it and creating a new cycle, or if some of them should stick around.
Yeah, because think about it too, and it still goes back to the Bible because the laws were based
on the commandments and all of that, right?
Yeah, so it still goes back to the Bible.
So then that means that the source of our disalignment with ourselves is in the very thing that was created to connect us.
Connect or control.
Or
control is out there somewhere. I don't know which one, but
and here we are, like living our lives in this formulated way when we should be healing, being free, and really breaking cycles of things that may not work for you.
Isn't it like so stressful to try to keep like a certain system?
I mean, I see. So looking at people trying to live this life they're supposed to live, literally it makes me like nauseous to my stomach.
It's
because everybody looks crazy, everybody looks sad, everybody looks depressed.
Yeah, like you ever get on the train in NYC? You just look around and you look at everybody's face and they just like mad.
Trying to get to work in the morning.
Sometimes I just get on the train, I just smile at people like
just to see what
like yo, cause why you look so mad?
It's true.
And I get it though, because everybody's trying to live up to these expectations that's been created by society. Society was created by these laws, and these laws was created by the Bible. So it's just like
it's all ingrained into one another. So it's like almost you're lost in it. You're like lost into what you are the life that you're supposed to be, and then you feel like an alien. I mean, I know I do. I definitely go through moments that I'm like, okay, am I the only one noticing that this is absurd?
I guess it's I guess it's like The Matrix, the movie.
Right. It's just like The Matrix.
It definitely is.
It, like, I say that all the time, or the Truman Show. That's like my favorite reference. I'm like, am I in the Truman Show?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so how do we heal our lineage? Like, how do we do something different? How can you be bold enough to step away from everything that you've been taught? And not everything. Maybe it's one thing at a time, right? Where you decide to follow your instincts and not this drive of what you've been taught, what you experience, what the people around you are doing, and actually break a cycle.
I believe that people are awakening right now. I feel like there's a big awakening. Like a lot of people just doing different things, and they just even like people that's financially free, they're actually starting to use their finances to change things, change laws, and just be an example of living for free or living free. So I think that's helping people wake up and just realize like you actually got control of what you want to happen in your life. Anything you want, you can have. You just have to want it bad enough.
Right, so, and work for it and stand up to it no matter how scary it is. Because I'm scared every day. I'm making the decisions I'm making, but I know like something inside of me, deep down inside, is like, you have to do this. Yeah. Not just for you, but for those that came before you, for those that are coming after you, like for those people around you, like you must do it.
Right.
Urgency.
Like I have a daughter, so I always like my main goal as her father is to give her the choice when she gets of age, when she wants to make choices, that she can make whatever choice she want to make. Like so she doesn't have to feel the pressure of what's expected of her, because that's a big pressure when people expect things of you.
And sometimes I don't think even people expect it from us. I think people expect it from themselves. Like it's a mirror image. Like they trying to fight it with themselves and they trying to sell it to you. Like I have two of my one engaged and one married couple friends who like were really trying to sell me like this life, and I'm like, bruh, no. That is not even a good. You guys are not even being good salespeople.
And that's just the thing, though. It's like, but I know there's everybody there's that there's a part of them that actually want to do these things. Like
it's just I think once you do it,
it's just like I think it's just the thought of having to do it and not having another option. It's just like
you feel like rushed to do it.
Yeah, I don't think that people don't want to do these things. That's why I say I'm still instinctive. Like I understand I got the choice to do what I want to do, but at the same time, you have to have that instinct to kind of guide you on what you should and shouldn't do.
Right, for yourself.
Yeah.
Not like what generally you should and shouldn't do. And I don't know if I'm against the whole marriage thing yet. You know, I don't know if I'm against. I know that I'm against doing things that the masses are doing. But life will lead. Life always leads, right? I mean, how much do you try to push against things that you can't control? There's a lot of things that are out of control, out of our control. I just think that we don't really realize it because we're so busy trying to control everything.
I don't think that, like you said earlier, I don't want this to be a Bible bash. But
I don't want it to be a Bible bash.
But like I said, like I feel like it was telephone. Like the story came, it originated somewhere, and as the story got from different ear to different ear to different ear, different eyes to different eyes, it evolved into what the majority of people gravitated to.
And remember, it's like the Old Testament and the New Testament. Like there's like levels to this.
So I think that foundation is there. So our instincts go with it because it's like it's the right
something
thing to
about
do.
it is right, but it's something just doesn't feel 100% right.
Exactly. And it might
Maybe
just
the wrong
be
person.
the way we were taught to do it, or the way it's being done. It might just need to be done a certain way, or everything might need to be done a certain way. Is
whatever works for you. It could be custom made.
Basically,
you can custom make.
I think that's very important because everybody's not the same. There's no way. Like they always say, like two people cannot see from the same point of view at all. We're sitting at the same table, but we have two different perspectives right now because we're sitting at the same table with two different places. So I always think that there's a way to do it, but you have to be able to, like you say, custom make it and be able to communicate, especially if it's marriage, and be honest with what you want and what you expect from life, so y'all can make this formula for it to actually work.
That works for both people.
Exactly. And then you don't have all of these divorces and confusion
and depression,
adultery.
It's a lot of crazy stuff happening.
Exactly.
It's like very complicated when it shouldn't really be that complicated, especially if it's something you really want to do.
Yeah. It's not an easy choice though.
I know, I get it, because it's so ingrained in everything that we are, right? Like it's a tradition that's set within, like you said, our beliefs, our thoughts, what we see, what we do. Like everything is around us, and this is what's been happening for a very long time. So to break that type of cycle is not easy. It never is, though. It's not supposed to be. That's what's called breaking.
Right.
You can't just like decide to change the cycle. You have to actually break it before you rebuild it, right?
Right. That's true. But it's never gonna be the same once you break it.
But you don't. Maybe
you don't want it to be the same. That's the point.
Right.
That's the point.
Like I think, and I think this is something a lot of people struggle with. Just change overall, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's a separate topic, but. Struggling with change is almost like you're still holding on to what you know, right? Because it's what you know.
It's relevant.
And jumping and taking the leap to something different, it's always this thought process of like, well, what about if what's different is not better? Or, like the grass is greener thought process, right? Like maybe this is actually better than what's over there. So I'd rather stay here, although this doesn't really make me that happy, but I kind of still know it. So it's better than not knowing it. And so I've taken the risk, then I have to change, and then that's going to be too much. But what about if it's not? Like, what about, and I don't know, I guess this is why I lead with a lot of making a lot of instinctive decisions, because that instinct is going to tell you that it's the right thing. And what you're doing doesn't feel right. If what you're doing doesn't feel right, then you have to change something, period. Like, it doesn't matter anything about what you know or what you did know, or none of that matters. Right now doesn't feel good. So I need to get to something that feels good. And I'm going to make sure that whatever is next is going to feel better than this.
Right.
Period. Like, I'm going to make sure of it. But not everyone is that confident to just take that leap. And so we hold ourselves back, I think.
That goes back to when I said is the security.
Right, security.
People hold on to tradition for security. Like, okay, this is what I saw, this is what I know, and it's most likely going to be the outcome. Not knowing that if you try things a little differently, you might have a better, bigger outcome.
Huge. It could be so amazing. It could be so happy. It could be a good thing.
Exactly.
So let that other stuff go. It's okay. and if that stuff is actually meant to be, like, I believe that everything that's meant to be will be. So if the thing that you need to let go of comes back, then let it come back if it's meant to be for you. If it stays away, then it stays away. Like, but I think that option still exists if it's really meant for you. It'll come back around. I mean, that's proof. So how we're healing, how are you healing this? Are you breaking cycles, or are you sticking with a tradition? Or are you like remixing?
I'm still in limbo. I'm still in limbo. I really can't say I got the answer but that goes with the instincts. So I guess I'm following my instincts.
Right, and that's the answer.
Right, that's the answer.
So let's heal our lineage, and let's Follow our instincts. Stop reading these magazines about what you should wear, what you should do, how you should look. Stop reading these books about how you should live your life. Really, like, start meditating, start spending time by yourself, start really, like, feeling. Like, because all of our senses matter. Being honest with yourself.
Yes.
I feel like we spend a lot of time focusing on all of our senses, and they all matter, right? But this physical form is not all you are. You are something way deeper than that. And so if you can tap into that, which is more real than what this physical thing is. Trust me, I know I've had people in boxes right now that are ashes. You become ash. Okay? So focus on that thing within you, that feeling, that gut. Like, that's going to tell you whether you should break the cycle or stick with tradition. So you tell me, is it time or nah? Well, thank you guys for listening to an amazing new episode. I have a lot of cool things coming up. I'm getting a lot of things together, so I'm going to have a lot of things evolving and moving. So I appreciate you for listening. I'm now on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube, okay? So you have many options to listen. Please subscribe, comment, and stay tuned for what's to come. See you guys next time. Later.
Just so that I was cunning, just got a pad out in London. I keep stacking my money, I need a ladder by summer. AK shots, niggas ducking straight shots. Been a top dog.
And now, the best part. Here are the after credits. A message from my co-host.
Well, my advice to breaking cycles, for one, is to really taking time to get to know yourself and know who you are and know what you want, and make sure that you follow your own vision and your own instincts and listen to that conscious, that voice that you hear telling you to go left or go right. And I feel like that alone will help you break cycles that you've been taught, traditions you've been taught that might not fit for you. Nothing wrong with following traditions and going along with what you've been taught, but if it doesn't fit for you, it doesn't fit for you. It's like a shoe. So just follow I guess what they say, your heart, your instincts, your mind, your spirit.